The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
You're listening to the Struggling Artist Podcast.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
With your host, Trev Allen.
I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Today, our guest is Christine, the driving force behind Boston punk band Little Low. What a great conversation we had. And if you ever have a chance to see this band live, I highly recommend it. They blew me away when I saw them at Pooza this past year. We talk about that in the episode. Stick around to the end to hear a track off of their latest album, Sunshine Guilt. This is episode 361 of the Struggling Artist Podcast. Struggling with Little Low. You know what's funny? Coincidentally, today I was talking with my friend Chris, and he's going to go see Time and Place tonight, and I was like elbows deep in my car at the time, and I'm like, I said I can't do that. Plus I got to do an episode of the podcast. I said with Christine from Little Low, and he was like, oh, I played a show with her, Franklin Siplis, and Rooftops in like 2019, and I was like, God damn, that sounded like a fun show. Like,
This is Chris Murray.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, God damn. How I was at that point in 2019, depending when it was, I was either in Tennessee or Pittsburgh. So,
oh wow.
So I was like, oh, that would have been an awesome show to go to.
Aw.
I've missed every time I've missed Rooftops every time I've had the opportunity, and I'm like, oh, every time,
Yeah.
I have that record. I just spin it. I spin it a lot. So
It is good.
it's very good. It's very good. But it's funny. I didn't miss you guys at Pooza. I got a chance to see you at Pooza. I was so
Yes.
excited. I actually another coincidence. Today's episode that dropped was with Josh from the Raging Nathans, and I cut their set short to make it to yours. But it was right across the hall. You know what I mean? So
Perfect, yeah.
I only missed like 2 songs, so it was worth it. It was worth cutting out early to come see you guys perform. So
That setup of Foofs really helps the bands in the smaller room for sure.
hell yeah. Is there another? They have an outside one too, right?
Like an outside Foofs. They sometimes do acoustic sets outside, but since it rained so much that Pooza, a lot of that stuff didn't happen like it was supposed to.
Yeah. It Jeff was like, "This is the first time it's ever rained," and I told him it was my fault. It was my first time going.
No.
So, was that your first time playing Pooza?
As Little Low, yeah.
As Little Low? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you performed there before, what was that? What band was that?
Save Ends. We played Pooza probably like 4 or 5 times starting in like 2012 2011 or 2012, I would say. And we also, when we were up there, we befriended a band up in Canada called Laureate. So we played up in Canada a lot back then.
Yeah.
So love Pouzza. I was really happy to be able to be back there.
Yeah, it was my first time. I'll be going back. I thought about like I was like, I'm gonna have to choose between that or Fest this year, and I've never been to Fest either, and like it's the same kind of setup, I think, right? Like it's venues instead of like a big field. I hate the big field kind of fest. So I'm glad I went to Pouzza. I think I'm just gonna keep going to Pouzza every year, and just because I'm not a big fan of Florida, so it's a hard thing. It's a hard sell for me to go there. You know?
Yeah. I mean, Pouzza, you can just drive up there, so that is nice.
Yeah. So I'm looking at your Bandcamp, right? And I want to say the first thing I ever heard was it How Hard I've Worked? Yeah, because that was off of the EP, right? That was off. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Reasons to Grow, I think, was my kind of introduction to you guys, and was a big fan of it. And we met at Faces the night before Pouzza kicked off, right? And I thought that was fun, how we just kind of like, we were sitting there talking to Ryan, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, hi, I'm Trev, and oh, I'm Christine, you know? So
we're starting off a couple nights of getting really tired.
Yeah. I had so much fun in from that night on. Like this was like, usually, again, I'm not like the biggest extrovert when it comes to like going out and like hanging out, and like I'll go to shows and stuff, but like I'm usually like, that was a big thing. That was a big step for me. Like I'm gonna go up to Canada and I'm gonna do this thing, and we're gonna have fun. So
it's a great time. Yeah. I feel like this year was especially, I don't know. I don't know if it was the rain or what, but it made people maybe have to be inside and like have that camaraderie around like the crappy weather. Sometimes that just makes people like more excited to have fun. I just felt like there was a lot of good energy. So
I totally agree. From a first time experience anyway, you know, because like I remember the first night it poured. It was pouring, and like I went to I made sure I was like there was sets I wanted to see for sure, and I got to go to them, and like the energy was just like, it was intense the whole time. You know, it was a good time. It was a good time. So, Christine, you're in Massachusetts. Like, you're from Massachusetts originally. You spent some time in California, I think you told me, right?
Yep.
What brought you out there? Was it music? Was it work? Was it love? You know?
It was Mike. So Mike's from here, as he's from Massachusetts as well, but he'd been living in California for about 10 years. And in 2019, we started a long distance relationship at like the end of 2019. And then in March, I went out to the Bay for the first time. And then as we were out there, COVID broke out. And we had to like figure out how to have a long distance relationship when you can't travel.
Yeah.
And you just have to, we both made sacrifices. Mike came to Massachusetts for about 9 months, and then I went out there with him for 2 years. He owned part of a company out there. It was a marijuana delivery service that was doing really well for a while, but unfortunately ended up going under. And that's kind of what, we were going to be out there for about 3 years, but we were there for 2, because once that went under, it was like, well, can we move back now? Because I'd like to go back.
So I'm sorry, I had a logistics service at the same time. And I was doing a lot more. I was doing like more medical stuff, and I moved back to Massachusetts with it. And I started it here, and I took it with me wherever I went, because you can find that kind of work everywhere. And then I came back here, and I was actually looking into getting in on like the ground floor of the marijuana delivery that Massachusetts was getting. It was so restricted, though. I'm like, it's not worth it. And then same thing, like fuel prices were just ridiculous in like 2022, and I was like, I gotta close this up.
Well, it kind of like, started as mom and pops out in California, but as the government got more and more involved and started taxing more and more, it just became unsustainable for smaller companies to do it, and everything just slowly got sold to bigger companies. And then from what I heard here, it was like, I had a bunch of friends who started getting jobs like in the weed industry once these places were opening up, and they're like, it's terrible. Like, this isn't fun. I thought this was going to be a good time, and it's not a good time. So
I'll tell you, like, doing what I did, like I would deliver basically it would be like a buffet of narcotics to like a hospital or like a nursing home. And like the restrictions for me delivering like fentanyl patches and like opiate, like it was so less than they wanted for the marijuana. Like I was like, are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
It was insane. It was absolutely insane. And like, and I would, so with one of the contracts I had, they have like, so nursing home, like hospitals and nursing homes, they have like these like vending machines for narcotics. And I would restock them, and I would go there, would say I have like 10 pills or something because they have none. I'll open the drawer, go to refill it, and they have like 25 in there. So like it's not regulated. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not keeping I was like, this, I don't even want to have anything to do with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, but like, so with the fuel cost, I got out of it, and I'm kind of happy I never got into like the weed side of it, just because like of all the restrictions. It would have cost me a fortune to be able to operate, and I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's really too bad. It could have been a cool thing here, but no, it's just like, I feel like it's just like tech bros on these companies, and that's about it.
It's weird. It's weird. Like I feel like hippies are like now tech bros. Like, you know. So all right. So while you were out, I mean, I guess you were out there during COVID though, so there wasn't a whole lot of music going on, right?
Well, it was like, so I moved out there in 2021, so it was as things were starting to open up. And we kind of started the band like pretty much right when I moved there, because I hadn't been able to do anything for 2 years in Massachusetts during COVID. So it was like 2 years of COVID. Then we were out in California for 2 years before we came back. So we kind of, we hit the ground running and started the band because I'd had songs that had been sitting around for a couple years now because of COVID stuff. So I was ready to go. So, Mike introduced me to his friend Eric, and then I had a friend Chris who I always respected a ton as a musician, and we wanted to play music together, so the band came together pretty quickly.
Okay. Now, where are you guys located now? Like, are you North Shore, Boston, South Shore?
We're Austin Brighton.
Austin Brighton. Okay. For some reason, I thought you had said something about Worcester.
No, Brad is from Worcester.
Oh, okay.
Our bass player's from Worcester.
So you were
Tom
like, all right, so you said like Boston and Worcester, I get, or something like that, maybe.
Yeah,
okay,
probably.
All right. I was like, I'm like, where are they from?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, poor Brad has to drive here once a week.
Yeah. So I'm out towards Worcester way, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, and I love Faces, so that's a problem, you know.
Yeah, that's so far.
Especially because like they have good beer. You know?
Yeah, they do have good beer. Last time I was there, it was for the crap. I can't think of what show it was at. Oh, the Slow Death. And right when I got there, I was like, "Can I have a Shoreline?" which is like their Mexican lager. And they're like, "Oh, we're all out of it." And I was like, "Oh no, like that's my favorite beer." And turns out it's the singer of the Slow Death's favorite beer, and he was very upset the whole night that they didn't have it. He was just like, "That's all I wanted. It's the best beer." They ended up giving him like a 6-pack at the end of the night. Just like, "We're sorry." But it's a great one. You can have quite a few and not feel too bad.
You know what? I don't know if I've tried that one, like, to be honest. I usually just go with the, I don't know, I think it's called Progression because I progress.
Oh yeah, that one's good too.
Yeah, I just stick with that one. I've had a couple of the other ones just because I was like, I can't drink anything that's heavy, like that has this much alcohol right now because I still have to drive, you know? So
yeah.
Sometimes I missed a set once. I missed like a headliner set once there because I needed to go get food. I was like, I'll be sleeping in this parking lot if I don't get out of here. So,
it happens.
Yeah. All right. So you started the band while you were when you came back, or when you were out there, you were kind of getting it going.
When we were out there, we did that first EP. So Reasons to Grow was recorded with Jack Shirley in Oakland, California, with like the first iteration of the band, and that was in 2021. I want to say, yeah.
Okay. Yep. And then when you came back out here, you guys hit the ground running again, and just
Yeah. It was hard. That was a hard thing about moving back was, being like, okay, Chris and Eric, I think I'm gonna keep doing this. It's been my project since before it was a band, it was the solo stuff. That's what Chris Murray and I played together. It was a Little Low used to just be an acoustic thing.
Okay.
So, I made the decision to bring it back here, and then asked Tom and Brad from Save Ends, previous band members, to join, so that it could just be a continuation of our old band. And that's been really nice. It's just kind of fallen back into our old camaraderie, and it works out really well. Mike is the new guy, really, but he's a founding member, so it all evens out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, with the last band to this band, is this was the sound similar, or was this a different direction you wanted to go in? And
the sound is the big difference is that there is not a second vocalist anymore. It's just me singing. And then I think as far as what I chose to record for the album, I had an idea of how I wanted those songs to sound. I think that the first EP has a little bit more jangly, open chord type stuff, whereas this one is a little bit more driving, a little bit angrier, and a little darker in some spots too. So it was more just kind of deciding with what songs I had, what I wanted an album to sound like after that EP, and knowing that we were making this transition from a California band to a Massachusetts band.
Is that a different thing?
Just that people knew us as a West Coast band, and it's been a bit, but every now and then we'll get a show request for California. Hey, you want to play this show in San Francisco Wednesday? And I'm like, no, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
I'm I'd love to someday, but no, we are not around.
Yeah, is there any goals to get back out there, just to do a little short run, or even a longer run, or?
Yeah, we've definitely talked about it, especially because our label is out there.
Yeah.
Andy from Sell the Heart lives out there. That's where we met him, and that's why we were able to, befriend him and get him familiar with our music. So we've talked about doing something at some point just to play the Bay again, still have friends out on the West Coast. I really enjoyed playing. Actually, my favorite place to play up there was Vancouver. There's just I'd never been there. The place is beautiful, and the show space was awesome. And then we got to play in Portland and Seattle and what's it called? Fresno. Fresno was so fun to play.
Nice.
People just come out and they have a great time. We played at a gift shop called Sour Milk, and it's such a cool spot. I would love to get out there again.
It's a great
yeah. It's a really cool store.
Yeah, it sounds like you already have it mapped out. You know where you want to go.
Yeah.
Now, is there a difference in the vibe of I guess the people who are out there checking out music, than it is over here?
Mm-hmm. Well, so I think the biggest difference that I noticed when I was living out there, and I wish we had this here, there is a huge range of ages that goes to every single show. A lot of times at shows these days, I feel like I am generally the oldest person, and that was just not really true in California. There was just there's so many more all ages shows, and shows are so much more accessible to people. And you would be there with kids probably going to their first show that are definitely getting picked up by their parents, and then people who are just punk rock lifers that have been going to shows forever, and they just love going out and enjoying music. So I think sometimes with Boston, we have such a college centric city that the age range gets a little bit smaller sometimes, and but it's nice because I think here we also have a much more close-knit community than California, because California is so spread out.
Yeah.
There's so many different places to play. Things are very you kind of just know everybody, and you know the different scenes, the different pockets of scenes that are happening around us. So it's just there's a bigger range out there. As you can imagine, California is just bigger, and here we have that kind of smaller, close-knit community.
Sounds like there's a lot more all ages shows
Yeah.
shows out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. I always think about that because I mean, I don't know if you've ever listened to the podcast, but I talk very highly of what we have here in the New England community, and because I remember coming up to Boston to see shows when I was like 19, 20, and it
Yeah.
blew me away. I was like, oh, and like, you know, I always followed what was going on out here from you know, late 90s, early 2000s till now, and it just it blows me away. And like I've been to a couple other cities, or at least a couple other regions, and like I know there's stuff there, and it's I feel like it was tougher to get into, and I don't know if it's because like I'm a New Englander, so it was like for me to get into like what was going on up here made it easier, you know what I mean? Because I always think about it as New England and not just like Boston or Providence.
Definitely.
You know, but like I never really got into Providence stuff either, though. I came like right up here. It was weird because where I lived was in the bottom of Rhode Island, and you're either like New York hardcore or you were like into the Boston punk thing back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I kind of just gravitated up this way, you know, and
Yeah.
I liked the other stuff too, but it would just like I would come out here more, you know.
Yeah.
So I always ask for perspectives on like what other places are like, and I know like Chicago's a lot like Boston is, like with their music community out there, and but I don't think I've ever really asked anybody about how California was. So you know, I like to hear that the range in ages is a lot better. You know,
Yeah.
like I mean I like seeing everybody at shows. You know, like just
Yeah.
to see. You can catch like that kid right there. You could tell it's his first show, and he's opening up, and he's gonna, you know, that might turn into something one day, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's always fun. So the album, I want to talk about Sunshine Guilt. I want to talk about the song too, because like it's I really want to know about it a lot more, because just from hearing some of the lyrics, I'm like, oh, you know. It's telling a good story, I think, and you know, so but like so the album is you know, I wanted to ask you is your single from 2019, Gloucester?
Yep.
Is this like a redone version of it that's on here?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So you re-recorded it, and you gave it the Chester part of it.
Yep. The cello.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Gloucester, it's called, right?
Gloucester. Yeah.
I was like, I hope someone didn't do that like on accident, like you know. So, but yeah. So I mean, let's kind of talk about it. From Dark Beer Archives all the way down. I mean, 8 tracks is this solid album. I don't know, like when I'm not good at like saying like this band is this or this band is that, you know what I mean? So like I remember when we talked about this on like the round table, I'm like is like, because it's got some like poppy parts to it, and I'm like is like pop punk and emo kind of the same? I think I missed the emo thing. I was a little older, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I kind of missed that whole thing, so I never know what that is, you know?
Yeah. I feel like it's become a very all-encompassing term these days. I think it can mean a lot of things.
Yeah, I think punk rock is just an all-encompassing term. I think it has been, but you know, people get a certain idea of what it is and everything. So like, yeah, I mean, I would call you guys a punk band. You know, I think, you know, and I mean that like in the like I don't. Some people, I don't know. Some people are like, yeah, they're just punk. I'm like, no, it's not. There's no that's just punk. Like there's a difference,
Yeah.
You know, and I think the content in the lyrics has a lot to do with making that difference, and this album definitely has that. So now, do you write the songs and bring them to the band?
Yep. Most of the time, I pretty much just like put together skeletons of songs, either just like acoustic demos or using GarageBand to lay stuff out. And then bring them in, and then we, you know, smooth everything out. Sometimes I need help adding like some new parts and stuff like that. But for the most part, especially because everybody is really busy with like Tom C's in multiple other bands. Like Brad just got a really demanding job because he works for himself, and Mike is in another band. So I just try to make stuff as easy as I can for everybody else. So I just try to get it like close to done, and then have everybody kind of put their marks on it.
Yeah. Now, I hear some sadness in this album, but like some hope. Am I right or wrong there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's my entire MO.
I feel like that's, well,
I'm sad but hopeful.
I was going to say, I think that might be
Every day.
I think that might be mine too, but I'm thinking about it. I think mine's just kind of sad and depressing a lot of the time. And the hope doesn't usually come. I want it to, but it doesn't always come there when I'm writing, you know? Yeah, so like I want to talk about, let's talk about Sunshine Guilt. That one has, I don't remember the lyrics off the top of my head, but is that like about coming back home, right? That's about coming back here. And yeah, can we talk about that? Because let me tell you, as far as, so I'm a storyteller and I love film, I love music, I love books. And like my favorite stories are going home stories. Like it just like I have one that I wrote and like I'm on the second draft of it now, and it's something that's like the going home story is just near and dear to me, regardless of like the format, right? So can you tell me about this song, because I really want to know about it?
Yeah. Well, so when I was living in California, it was really sunny out all the time. And there were days where I just wished it would be crappy out because I just wanted to stay in and like feel like crap. I just wanted to have a sad day. And I came across the term Sunshine Guilt. I actually ended up talking to some other people in California that were from New England who had that same feeling. And when I moved back, I was trying to write a song that was like a little bit more energetic and a little bit more pop punk than what I had been writing. And I just started playing like the intro riff. And then the lyrics it was one of those songs where the lyrics kind of wrote themselves. Like it was like suddenly all those thoughts I had been having about wanting to come home and then finally being home, it all just came out so easily. Like, you know, the the line that's like, I swear I miss how mean you are. Mm-hmm. And just thinking about like, that means so many different things about Massachusetts. That's like, the weather's mean, the people can be mean, but like, it is my sense of self is I am a New Englander and I know that now.
Yeah. So like, I always say like New Englanders, like people outside of here think it's just like, you know, lobster rolls and like Cape Cod, you know what I mean? And there's the working class side of this, like where people will drive 2 hours just to plow someone's driveway, or, you know what I mean? Like that. And like, we have like a leather skin almost to it, you know? Like, I mean, if you go on social media, everyone's always making fun of people from Massachusetts or New England because of that, right? Like they're like, oh, they're rude but kind, you know, or whatever. Right. And there is truth to that, right? Like, I always use when I was in Tennessee, like everyone would wave, you know, and that's not something I'm used to. So I'm like, but then no one would like wave you into traffic and be like, come on, you know. But here they'll be like, all right, asshole, come on.
Exactly. That's the exact thing. Yeah, we always talked about the saying like kind but not nice and nice but not kind.
Yeah.
Like Boston is nice but not kind. They will like drive their plow 2 hours to plow your driveway, but they'll tell you you're an idiot because they had to do it. But they still do it for you.
Because you were out there trying to shovel it and there's a 3 feet. Yeah. I think that's I don't know. It's charming in a way, you know? Mm-hmm. Like I had my grandfather, my father's father was like, he was from Maine. He was this old grumpy hillbilly, and like, I called it grumpy with style. 'Cause like, he would like say the craziest things, and like, but he like, you loved him for it almost. You know, because you knew it didn't like, he was just fucking around. You know what I mean? Like it's just how they are. You know, so So I feel like that's something now that we have that it's hard for people to quite understand, and you know. But so I mean, hearing the song and understand. So I don't know the term Sunshine Guilt. Is it just like? Is it's just like, like you're just miserable in the nice weather. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that when it's sunny out, you feel bad that you don't want to go out and enjoy the weather. So it's guilt for not wanting to go enjoy a sunny day.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, that happens, right?
Yeah.
All right. I think it's okay, right? It's okay to be like that, I always feel like it's like, I mean, because sometimes we just need to be like a little miserable.
Exactly.
We don't need anything to cause it. We just sometimes we just need to like blow off some steam and just be grumpy inside.
Yeah.
It's
like I have internal weather, so I need the outside weather to do some stuff too.
Yeah, and that's I'm sure that's across the I don't know, the general population. That's probably weird, right? That we need that, but I think it's needed,
Yeah.
It's like going to Seattle and saying you love the weather because it's all dark and gloomy and,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's okay to have both, You can have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yeah, so, all right, so Gloucester's another one that really stands out. Not only because you spelt it the way the rest of the country will pronounce stuff like that, or, they pronounce Worcester like
Worcester.
Yeah.
I will say, when I was a kid, I thought Worcester and Worcester were two different places.
That happened to me when I was in Tennessee. There was a town, and depending on who you were talking to, they would pronounce it differently, and I'm like, is it two places?
Right.
But yeah, I get that. Yeah. So you had the punk cello. Now the punk cellists, they're Boston, right? They're a Boston person.
Ian's from New Bedford, actually.
Oh, okay. So Massachusetts, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever met them. But I've seen them all over the place in things like this. Yeah. So, now, so that was an older song that you redid, right? So, other than like you didn't have the cello on the first one, right?
Right.
So what added to it? Like, how do you take a song and go, we got to breathe new life into this?
Well, so actually this is the way the song was always imagined. I always imagined it full band. We have like a really, really old demo of me and Tom playing it in like 2015 or something like that with drums too. But basically it was supposed to be a Save Ben song. It just never happened because of COVID, and then the band just kind of not falling apart. We just all, things slowed down for us. So but so then when I decided to record my acoustic stuff, I was like, well, it works as an acoustic song. Like, let's do it. I've been playing it out that way. Like, that's fine. But, like, I always knew that there was more for it. And I knew that it could be, like, a more, like, epic song with, like, the drums and guitar. And I always wanted strings on it. So, this is really what I always imagined it to be. And so I'm just glad that I got to do that finally. Because I always wanted to have strings on an album, too. Like, oh my gosh, like this like dream come true type stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Was this the first time you had something on vinyl?
The first time for a Little Low, yeah. Save Ben's put out 2 albums. Yeah. But both on vinyl, but this was the first for a Little Low.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's cool. I always like, I don't know. I'm a big vinyl guy. You could probably notice by
Yep.
So like I'm always like I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just like, I mean, it used to be everything was on vinyl, and nowadays it's not. And like, so whenever I have a chance to like, cause like there's certain bands I probably don't want to hear on vinyl. Your band, I would definitely want to hear you guys on vinyl. I'm probably going to have to pick up one. I haven't grabbed one of these yet. I'm waiting to, I don't know why I didn't, well, we're at Pooza, I probably just,
oh, you don't need to care that over
think about it, but yeah. But like, I will get one. But like there's bands like new metal bands. I don't want to hear anything new metal.
Yeah.
That stuff was made for CD. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just for listening to in the car really loud.
Right.
Which is what every long drive has devolved into recently. Like as we pulled into Pooza, we put on Big Truck by what's it called? Cold. Oh, I can never remember the name of the stupid band. Not Cold Culture, that's a different band. I can't believe I'm blanking on it. But anyway, we end up listening to all the music that we said we hated in high school. Yeah. And now it's just like, that's how we charge ourselves up for the last like 45 minutes of a drive.
How long have you been like performing live? I mean, I know you had a band before this, you had Save Ends and
yeah.
But like what, and then when did you decide you wanted to like perform live?
So I had wanted to do it for, since I was in high school, but I was always too nervous. In college, I started doing open mic nights with a friend. He would do covers and I would just play guitar and like not sing or anything. And then he was like kept pushing me to like try to sing a song. So eventually I would sing one song, and then started my first band in 2007 and played my first show around then. So since I was like 25.
Wow.
Yeah. So it started a little late, but I think I just was always too nervous, honestly. I didn't think I could do it or should do it. And luckily I had friends that were like, no, you should do this. Like you can do it, and like, let's do it together.
Yeah, I'm glad you had friends that encouraged you, because watching you guys perform was just awesome. And like
thank you.
You have a big presence when you're on stage, and like I was blown away by it,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. And it seems like everyone clicks really well in the band too. Like I don't know if this is like the storyteller in me or whatever, but like I look for these like things like that. Like I'm like, wow, this like the way there's certain bands I'm like, wow, they're just like in sync so well. And then in some bands I'm like, but this band doesn't do that, and they don't have to do that, and because what they do, like everyone's on the same page for what they're doing, so to see a band like just like get up there and again, like Pouzza is like, it's an awesome place. I would, if I was in a band and I got invited to, I'd be so intimidated. I mean, I was intimidated just by like going there, because I'm like, how am I? Well, I was trying to figure out how I was going to see every band. That was the other thing. Like,
so like, it's a project.
Yeah. So like being able to just like get up there and yeah, you guys were great. I mean, you got up there and you just started rocking, and it was a big presence was there, and I noticed like a lot of people were coming in from like as the other stuff was, and they hear it, right? They're leaving to go wherever, but they hear something and they go, let me go see what that is. Like, it was awesome. It was awesome.
A little anecdote from that, the stage manager at the end of our set, he came over to be like, I just want you to know that I love Massachusetts emo, and I was so excited to see your band, like I'm gonna grab an album. But just that he said, I love Massachusetts emo, I was like, is it a thing?
Yeah,
do we have a thing?
I guess.
I was like, hell yeah.
Like
you mentioned, he was like, I love Cape Crush, and like, oh, it was so awesome. It really made me feel like, I don't know, I feel like every time I start talking about this stuff lately, I'm like, I'm just so proud of our scene. I'm so proud of like everything New England is doing right now. I think everybody's just like putting out their like top game music, like just doing it the best they can, and it's showing.
I agree, and I feel like, and I think it extends even further than that. Like people who are doing like talent buying for places, or promoting shows, or like even the podcast. There's other podcasters out there that I'm like, yeah, you keep doing what you're doing. There's this thing about like, so like I'm not a musician. I can't sing a tune or anything like that, but like I kind of know my lane. You know what I mean? And I know what I'm like. I'm decent at this stuff, and I see everyone, and I'm like someone who, like, whenever I find a podcast that's like mine, I love it. I want to hear it. I want to, because what I ask is not the same as what this person's going to ask, right? And and I like to to have these conversations, and we talk about things like this, and we talk about mental health sometimes, and we and I don't care about what we talk about. It's just getting out there and letting people hear the podcast, right? Letting people hear and learn about this stuff. And like, I do the record club now. So like, that's another thing that I do, where it's like, I'm trying to help, like, hey, I'm curating for this thing and I'm trying to get these records. So like, yeah, I think as a whole, like the community as a whole right now is awesome. And I don't know, like, I wasn't as involved as I was. Definitely wasn't as involved as I am now back like in the late 90s, early 2000s. But I remember the bands, and I remember like that was a special time. And this right now, I think is like another special time, like this time frame that we're in, for different reasons, you know?
Yeah.
And like the sense of community between everybody and people supporting shows. And I mean, it's tough to get out there sometimes. We all, especially, we'll talk just from the cost of living in 2000 to the cost of living now is so incredible. Sometimes we can't make it to shows because we have to go to bed early because we have to go to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
100%.
But people were still supporting in any way possible. I think you're absolutely right. I think it is a special time right now. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm honestly very grateful to be part of it. Like,
Same. I am too.
You know, my small little sliver that I do, I try and like, you know, and like, yeah, it's just, I have fun every time I go out. I have so much fun. I wish I could go more, you know, than what I can. I get FOMO every time I hear a band that I want to see. And then like the algorithms screw me up all the time too. Like I'll hear about a show the day after and I'm like,
oh yeah.
Every time.
Like check out this show from 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was fun.
I'm sure that was fun. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, how often are you guys are playing quite a bit, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a show, I don't know when this episode will come out, but we have a Boston show next week, and then we're doing some shows in like Richmond and Jersey and Connecticut and Philly soon, which is really exciting. And then we have stuff booked out through like October right now. It's crazy how early things also book. So we're just trying to play a bunch and get out there and sell the record and make Andy proud.
Right. Andy's a good guy. He's been on the show. He's
wonderful.
Yeah,
the 15-year anniversary of Sell the Heart Records is this year, which is really cool. He's been doing some shows around it. It's really cool. I'm so grateful to be working with him.
Hell yeah. No, he's a great guy. He's got a good label. He puts out some really good records, and so like, I mean, you know, and you guys, I feel like your sound fits in with a lot of the stuff that's out on the label, you know. So yeah, that's amazing. You were able to get this on there. You know, this is the first LP for the band too. So yeah, that's good. That's great. Now, does he help? Like, will he ever? So I don't know how labels always like. Every label's different, I feel like, right? So does he like kind of? Will he help you guys like find shows out that way if you needed it or anything? Or?
Oh yeah, if we went out there, he would definitely help. And I mean, the way that we met Andy from Sell the Heart is that Mike was booking shows out in the Bay, as he books them here too, but he's booking shows out in the Bay, and Andy needed a show for one of his bands called The Dreaded Laramie, and so Mike booked them, and then like they started talking and became friends that way. So yeah, like Mike and him have like kind of like collaborated on shows like on either coast now, like when people from here go out there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Andy's been helpful. So yeah, you know, just keeping that everybody like community and communicating and helping each other out and lifting each other up.
That's awesome. Yeah, and again, like it's good to keep. Because I talk about New England a lot, but like there's plenty of music all over the country, and everyone's great, and you know what I mean. So it's cool to be able to keep these relationships going, and you know, and it's even better when they start as a friendship, right? And you can be able to help each other, and that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, do you guys? Is there? I know this came out recently. But, like, is there any plans for anything in the near future for a single or anything like that, or?
We recorded a song recently because I feel like it's smart to just have songs in your back pocket because things come up all the time. So we recorded a new song with Kyle from Oh the Humanity because that's local. And I think we'll do probably maybe one more with him. I haven't told him that yet. But just to have them in our back pocket because stuff just happens all the time and I hate being unprepared. So... and then, we're kind of on like summer vacation right now because Mike had to travel for work. But I have been taking that opportunity to get some writing done. So once we settle back into like a normal practice schedule, they'll be getting some new material to work on every week.
What's your writing process like? Like where does do you hear the sounds first? Do you hear a riff first, or do you kind of put lyrics together first?
I actually just pick up the guitar. That is how I start. I don't think I've ever been able to be like, oh, I know what a song should sound like. I think that's how Mike kind of works. I like have to pick up the guitar and I just like tinker around until something like kind of grabs me, and then like usually like I'll sing one little line, then I'm like, okay, I think there's an idea here maybe, and then just keep building on that, and then usually then it becomes a voice memo, and then it becomes I have to go in my room and go into GarageBand and start actually recording it. So yeah, usually just it's kind of like how I've always done it since I was a kid, is just pick up the guitar and see what it has to say for me today.
That's cool. That's cool because I feel like that's a good way. I don't think I've heard anybody so everyone has a different way. That's the one thing I've learned. I feel like it kills me because I don't know how to write a song, and so like I'm always like like how is it? Why is it so different? Why can't I just do it? You know what I mean? And I've even had people like give me like here's an instrumental, like listen to this and see what you can do, and like I'm too wordy. You know what I mean? I'm like I don't know. I think I overthink it too much too. Mm-hmm. I think that I psych myself out. But like so for you, like being able to so it's like that's it, man. That's your muse is like you just pick it up and start tinkering with something, and and it goes from there. Now how long have you been writing songs? Like when did you start writing songs? And like do you do anything else creatively, outside of that?
Mm-hmm. So I started writing songs basically when I started playing guitar when I was like 13, and I was just thinking to myself, I wish I could find the tapes of like these old songs, because I'm sure they're horrible, and I was probably just trying to write a grunge song. And on like I had a classical guitar, that's what I learned to play guitar on, which was quite a challenge. But I think like I just kept writing songs and keeping them to myself until I was in college, and then I started sharing acoustic songs with people. And then once I joined a band, that's when it switched over. Like, okay, how do you write a song for full band? Like that's a different process. And my way of working on that has changed over the years. That's why I use GarageBand a lot now, because they have like a built-in drummer thing, and that really, because I can't speak drummer, but I can be like, I want the slow and then the loud and the cymbal. Like I can do that in GarageBand now, and so that makes it really easy to like communicate my idea. It's like I feel like I'm like doing a sketch almost, like so growing up I could draw. I drew like forever. I just love doing like things with my hands. I'm a graphic designer. That's my job. So I have a creative day job, and then trying to be creative at night sometimes can get a little bit exhausting and draining. But I just find ways to do it and to try to find a balance, because I need the music to make like the rest of my life like feel worth doing the job and all that stuff. It's like, the music's what really makes me happy and what drives me, and what like, so many of my friendships are based around this, and it just brings me so much joy. So it's just trying to find a balance can be a pain in the butt, but we all do it.
Yeah. So I want to ask, can I kind of ask about that a little bit? So like, like I write, that's when I figured out that was my thing to help me get through whatever and express myself properly and all that stuff. Like that was like awesome. And like music has always been something for me, like like when I consume it, it does like, it helps me get through some of the hard times. It helps me with the good times. You know what I mean? Like it does that as well. So like, and then, I do the podcast now, and the podcast is great. And I also, I get to flex my creativity with this too. But finding that balance to do the writing is the real thing for me. Like that's the real thing. And like, so I'm trying to like find the balance, because doing the podcast stuff is like a full-time job too. So I have a job, and then I have this thing, and then I'm like, all right, now I can go write. And like, sometimes it's, I find it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like, I've been staring at the screen. What the So it's just been one of those things. So how do you, I guess I just asked like 10 questions in one, but we'll start with this. Like, how do you keep that balance so you can, continue to do this too? And
oh boy, I don't know. I think that there's days where it's just like I have to just wait and see like what my mood is going to be sometimes. Like I'll just, the workday will be ending and I'm like, I think I'm going to pick up the guitar for a second. And then suddenly it's 2.5 hours later. I think it's really important that we keep a band practice schedule. Like having that every Thursday also makes me have to work on stuff because I feel like I'm not doing my homework. Like I can't show up having not done my homework. Mm-hmm. So, consistency with schedule is really helpful. And then, I make sure that I have at least like one night a week that is like my alone night. And sometimes that is just me having to lay down and watch TV because I'm so tired. But sometimes it's like, oh, right. No, I am in a creative mindset. I also journal every single day. And so I find that really like helps me like unblock a lot of stuff. And then I'll go back and like read my journal for like lyric ideas sometimes, just like see what I was feeling or processing. So I think like part of it is like I'm just always like it's just like a little bit of tinkering at all times, like, and then usually ending up with like big like jumps where I get a lot of creative work done after like being a little sleepy for like a week and a half.
Yeah, I know that happens to me, and I'm like, oh. And I get like mad at myself. I'm like, you dumbass, like, like what, because I end up finding myself. I end up like when I'm finally sit down to do it, I end up finding myself doing other things that and I'm like, stop doing that,
Yeah.
So when you first wrote a song, 13-year-old Christine wrote a song. Is that when you felt like, oh, this is like did it help you? You know what I mean? Like that whatever it was, whatever the topic of the first song was. You know what I mean? Like, is that when you felt it at that moment, and it was like, oh, this is how I do this. This is how I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it like I remember thinking back then, like I just started writing songs, and I was like, I'm just doing this. I'm just writing songs. This is all you just write them, I guess. Like it just, I think, was more natural to me than I had any idea about. Like, and I think I then put myself down for a solid like 15 years or something like that, and didn't think I could write songs, even though I'd been doing it since I was a kid. So it like. That's probably why I like kept them secret for so long, because I just thought like somehow these songs aren't like the right songs. This isn't like the type of songs other people write, so I'm not doing it right or something. They're just for me. But it was always like for processing emotions, and I always liked writing poems when I was younger, so it was this combination of two things that I really enjoyed. But yeah, it came more naturally to me than, like, I wish I had understood then. Like, it's coming naturally too because, like, you have an affinity for this. I'm, like, trying to be better about, like, acknowledging the fact that, like, I am a musician. I write songs. Instead of being like, oh, I'm just some person who has a band. Yes. Like, no. I am capable of doing these things, and I should be proud of that and stop kicking myself constantly, thinking I can't do it when I have so much evidence showing that, like, you have done it. You do write songs. Believe it or not, you do. And you've written them, and you've recorded them, and you play them. And so, I don't know. I kind of got off topic here, but
no. You're going in the exact direction that I was hoping you would. Yeah, because like I'm 44 and I'm still kicking myself sometimes about like. And to the point where I say I write and I'm a storyteller, I won't use the word writer.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm like, just stop it.
Yeah.
Like, and it took a long time because again, I would read things, kind of like what you were saying. You would write these songs and you'd be like, these aren't like these other songs like that are out there. Like maybe I shouldn't be sharing these or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that's how I was, and I'm like, I'm not, I don't need I can't describe something like a leaf blowing in 35 pages. I can only do it in like 4 sentences, you know?
Right.
But then when I found out that you can write that way too, and it's okay,
Yes.
and you don't need to be the next whoever because we already have one, you know?
Yeah.
We probably have a couple, but you know, like I was like, oh, that's what that means? Okay. So like,
Yeah.
and I'm at the point that I'm finally like getting stuff, and I'm like getting stuff out there, and I'm like,
That's awesome.
yeah, but now I'm mad that I didn't do it early. You know what I mean?
Of
I'm
course.
I'm like, what the fuck was I waiting for?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I always, and I kind of always like to talk about the process and like just of what creating does for people, and like, because I know there's people out there that listen to the podcast and they do this, they do it, and they don't share it for the same reasons. So it's cool to hear like you kind of took that one question and went in this direction. I'm glad you did, because you know, it's not just me saying that so people can hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Christine from Little O said the same thing. You know, so so is there any, because like now that you like like you said, like you're not just someone with a band now, like you're a songwriter, this is what you are. Do you have to like kind of like look at yourself in the mirror and like kind of rewire that? Because like I've been in therapy for a long time, and a lot of things that like that's kind of how I had to like remap my brain. This is how this needs to go. And I think the hardest part has been like trying to praise myself, and that's kind of, I'm taking the same kind of approach where I kind of have to like rewire how that is. Because I tell you, I had friends I've grown up with that had no idea that I wrote until 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like they probably thought I couldn't even spell my name. So it's like it's a weird thing. Like I've always kept I don't think there's one person that knows everything about me. Like I am constant. Like I don't know why. I don't know if I'm scared of like the vulnerability of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like So, but I think, and one of the things I love about music is like, at least the stuff I listen to. Like you guys put yourselves out there. Like that's your way. If I mean, you probably could do, you might be doing more than that, but that's your way of being vulnerable. And like, it's like, it gets me. And that's like, oh man, I wish I could just like be able to do that. Mm-hmm. We're gonna soon with one of my writing projects. And, but like, it's like, but I'm like terrified. Like I haven't finished I'm putting out an audiobook, and like, I haven't finished it because of that reason, I think. I think part of me is just like scared that people are going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Mm-hmm.
So, but so what do you do? Like, how do you get yourself to that point? Like so you can accept that you are this and you're not just someone who has this.
Yeah. I mean, I think like with band stuff, like it's nice because I have 3 other people that are like doing it. So I'm like, well, if they're doing it, like I can't be totally crazy that like, somebody else is supporting me, and I think they have good taste, and we've been doing this forever and they still want to do it. You're on your own. That's so much harder. Mm-hmm. But I guess one thing I've been trying to do is like jump the hurdle that happens every time, that friction that happens every time I start something. And it's like the imposter syndrome kicking in, the like, every mean thing I could possibly think to say about myself, like comparing myself to other people. Like if I'm in the right mindset, I can kind of get myself to just jump it, just jump over all that crap, and then like just start working. Because I've also been like a procrastinator forever, and I learned not long ago that procrastination has a lot more to do with perfectionism than you would think. Like it has a lot more to do with the fact that you are afraid to finish something because you're trying to imagine the outcome, and you're trying to somehow be at the very beginning and jump right to that finished point. And I've been learning to trust the process and work through the process, and that like you can just make something and then you can fix it later. Like it doesn't have to be perfect from the beginning. And this honestly sometimes that's like I've had to learn that with my job too. Like I've gotten projects where I like react like angrily that someone gave me a project because I don't know how to do it yet, and it's because I'm terrified. I'm like terrified I'm gonna fail and I don't know how to do it. But I have really in like the last couple of years gotten better about being like, just take the first step and then the next step and then the next step and then maybe sit on it for a night and then keep working on it. So I mean, I've done like all sorts of reading, all sorts of journaling, like all sorts of podcast listening, just to like try to build up better confidence in myself and better working habits, and you know, trying to beat that imposter syndrome down over the years.
Yeah, that's been a huge thing on this podcast, is talking about imposter syndrome.
I bet.
I feel like I should start a support group for it.
Yeah.
Like, me included, obviously. Like, honestly, I feel like doing the podcast, it's almost like a therapy session. I'm not going to lie. I'm selfish as fuck, Christine. The reason why I do this podcast is because I want, like, I talk to the bands I want to talk to because their music means something to me, and I need to know about it, and I need to know if I'm just fucking crazy or if everyone kind of does the same thing. So you just outed me. But I think that, I think like a fucking support group for all of us would be awesome. You know what I mean? Like, just somewhere, like, just to blow off that steam, to be like, hey, you might, you know, like, has anyone ever experienced? So, because a lot of things you just said, like I did for years. Procrastination with my writing projects. My first screenplay took me like 9 years because I was writing for a perfect draft.
Right.
It's never gonna happen.
Yep.
Never. And like recent years has been like, all right, get the first draft out there. You know, if I want to take a break for a year after the first draft, at least I made that goal. Now it's time to set the second goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the going home story I was telling you about, like I finished it 2 summers ago, and then I just started like, okay, now it's time to get back at it. You know, I've had enough time I know what needs to be done. Now let's get back into it, you know? And I think, you know, I mean, I have so many projects that it's okay for me to put that up there for a bit, but like the one I want to put out is like essays, like personal essays that I've written. And I'm like, I need to do this. Like so I gave myself an end date. Like, you need to be done by this date.
Nice.
Cut and dry. And
that's a good way to do it.
I think that it's a good way, especially if you're detail oriented and you were saying, like you want like the strive for perfection, like in meeting deadlines, like that will, you know, that's been one thing I've learned. Like if I give myself a date, then it's gonna, like the podcast website. I'm like, I need to I bought the thing, and I'm like, all right, until like it's gonna renew in a year, so I need to build the goddamn thing now.
Yep.
So, and I did.
I already spent the money. I did that with the Little Low website. I was like, you need a website, and then I was like, shit, I just bought the domain. I don't even think I meant to do that, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
let's do it now.
Yep. It's little things like that, you know, that get you going, and you know, and I think, you know, having the right support group, like. And it's, you know, it's funny. I've always made like with my writing, I'm always like, oh, because like I had a parent who wasn't very encouraging about anything that I did, like, and like the writing like was a big thing that they didn't like, and about me for whatever reason, you know, and like so like not sharing it with anybody was like I had no choice. I couldn't share it with anybody, and like, my friends and stuff that don't particularly create, like I've shared stuff with them and they're like, this is awesome, and then I get like, at first I'm like, oh wow, really? And then I think, well, you like it because it's good, or do you like it because someone you knew did something? And then then it starts all over again.
Yeah,
I gotta
you can just do that forever.
I gotta get out of that habit. See, all right, so we sidebarred off the course, but you said you have a couple songs hopefully that are gonna be coming out in the next couple months or so. You have a show. You have a couple. You're going on. Are those like one-offs, or are you doing like a little run?
We have a little run. Yeah. So from Richmond to Philly to Jersey to DC and Connecticut. I probably just did that out of order, but yeah, we got a 5-day thing. That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. It'll be fun. Take the minivan out. Yeah, we have like a bunch of shows are booked with like some like acquaintances, like friends and stuff like that. So it's going to be a good time. Hopefully it's not 100 degrees. That's all that I care about.
Is that happening this summer, or is that into the fall, or?
Yeah, it's the end of July, first couple days of August.
Oof, yeah, it's gonna be hot.
Yep.
It's gonna be hot. It's been a hot summer.
It has. I know we have some hot ones coming up this week.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And you know what? I don't like the snow, so I'm cool with warm weather in New England, because like I really do not like snow. Yeah, I had a snow removal business one time. I thought I'd like it more if I was making money. Fucking hate. I was like, take it all back.
Yeah.
You know? All right, cool. That's awesome. So where can people find Little Low on the internet, on the social media, Bandcamp, Spotify, I'm sure.
We're Little Low Band on Instagram, and then Little Low on all the streaming sites and Bandcamp. So
All right.
Yeah, all the places.
I always promote the Bandcamp stuff because you can get money from people that.
Yeah.
That's the way.
We got cool shirts on there.
Yeah. Do you? I didn't even see. March. There we are. We're going to take a look right now. Yeah, I like your shirts.
We got Mulder with an alien. It's a classic.
Yeah. I see that. Yeah. You got a handsome model for you too on.
Yeah. He's a good t-shirt model. Drummer, pick slider for the albums, and t-shirt model.
There you go. Oh, you guys, you put out the EP on a cassette?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna be buying that too.
Nice. Yeah, we usually have those at shows. So next time I see you.
Yeah, for sure. Christine, this was great. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And talking with me. Like I said the night I met you, congrats on an awesome album.
Thank you.
And I wish you all nothing but the best and success. And I can't wait to see you perform again. And and I hope to see you soon. So.
Perfect. Me too.
All right. Thank you so much. And we will talk to you again. Door's always open, by the way. I always have to say
awesome.
That. I feel like I shouldn't. I feel like everyone should know. But just to reiterate, door is always open. You ever want to come back, no matter what the topic, you just let me know. We'll get you in here.
Great. Sounds good.
All right. And that's the show. I want to thank Christine again for being today's guest on the Struggling Artist Podcast. In the show notes, you will find links to Little Low. Check them out. Buy their record. See them at a show if you can. Speaking of shows, we talked about a couple shows in this episode, and I want to run through them real quick for you guys because this is coming out. This one came out a week after we recorded. So this Thursday, July 24th at O'Brien's, you can check out Little Low with Shrug Dealer and Condition Baker. That's O'Brien's in Allston, Massachusetts. Make sure you head over there Thursday, July 24th if you're in the area and looking for a show. Now, the Northeast little tour they're doing, I've got some dates here, right? So July 30th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. July 31st, Richmond, Virginia. August 1st, Alexandria, Virginia. August 2nd, Morris Plains, New Jersey. And August 3rd, Torrington, Connecticut. I will have a link to their website where you can check out the venues and the times and all that stuff. So make sure you check it out. And if you're listening to this from afar and that's one of those cities I just named is close to you, be sure, I'm serious, you will be very impressed with this band. Well, I want to thank Chris Chavez, Jeff Bousquet, and Aria Rad for being part of the Struggling Artist production team or crew or whatever the hell we're calling it these days. They help with so much, and I thank them every day for it. Check them out over on Instagram. You can find Chris at 716thesound, Aria at coffin_salesman, and Jeff at JRBimage. Thank you to Mark at State Line Records for being sponsors of the podcast. Head over to statelinerecords.com. See what Mark has in stock. See what he has going on. And buy some records. Thank you to the band Losers Circle for always letting us use their song Great Illusion of Time off of their album Took Long Enough as the theme song to the podcast. Sorry, I just had to kill a bug. No bugs allowed in the studio. You can always find a link to to their Bandcamp through the podcast website. So you can go to thestrugglingartistpodcast.com or podcasttsa.com. Go the main page, just scroll down to sponsors and check them out. They're right there. There's some other sponsors too you should check out too. Thank you, fellas, for always letting us use the song. You know how much that means to me, and I appreciate you guys. Everybody over at Patreon, thank you for being patrons, contributors, all that stuff. It is much appreciated. It allows us to, get a little upgrades here and there, do little projects for everybody. It really is. It's much appreciated. And if you want to see what we have going on over there, we have podcasts, we have a radio show, a weekly radio show, and a few other things up our sleeves here and there. Head over to patreon.com/podcast TSA and check it out. Tiers are inexpensive. I think the highest tier over there right now is $5, and that gets you everything that we do. So patreon.com/podcast TSA. Now, if you're listening to this, I thank you. If you already listened to this and you're thinking about me, I thank you for that too. Listen, as we turn the corner to a 5-year relaunch of the Struggling Artist Podcast, we're about to enter the 6th year. We're drastically coming up on the 2nd year of the Record Club. I mean, listen, none of this happens without all of you, and I appreciate that. And I hope throughout the years you haven't gotten tired of me trying to figure out how to listen to us. I mean, how to write a song, or my stupid stories. And I really do. I appreciate you all, and I hope at some point you got something out of the show, and we're gonna keep it rocking through the rest of this year and in 2026 and beyond. So I want to thank you, because you guys are the reasons that we still do the podcast. So so everyone who wants to reach out, Trev at thestrugglingartistpodcast.com is the email you can do, unless you're one of those like weird website like backhand compliment, like I don't even know if they're scams or not. They might be, but that's like, hey, we like your website, but, and then they shit all over it. Don't reach out to me if you're one of them. How about that? But if you want to leave us a voicemail and tell us how much we suck, or if you want to leave us a text message and say that you love us, you could also use the phone number 774-570-1552. That is the Struggling Artist Hotline. That thing has never rang while I had it on, so don't be afraid of me picking up, because I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let it go to voicemail. I'm not gonna answer that text. But I will read them. I will play them on the podcast when we get them. And if if you need a call back, you just say so, and somebody will. I don't know if it will be me. I'm not really good on the phone. So as I ramble on with this. All right, it's time to get out of here. We have a song to play. Christine was great enough to let us play the title track off of Little O's debut LP. The song and the album is called Sunshine Guilt. Make sure you check it out. Until next week, we'll talk to you. Take care of yourselves.